Good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily here on the Audacity Network. I am your host, Pearl, and we go live on YouTube, Rumble, and X. If you want to support my work, we are trying to get to 3,500 memberships on the website. So if you want 10 bucks a month, 80 bucks a year, and I do read your chats. So today we are going to talk about the art of taking an L. This really is a lost art. But before we do, I wanted to start the show with the funniest video I have seen in a while. There is a show where people basically call in and figure out why their date didn't call them back. So you guys ever go on a date and you think that date went amazing? You think it's the best date you ever had. You think, I have locked this in the bag. And then you never hear from them again. It's 2024. If it hasn't happened to you, it's abnormal. You're the weird one. Sorry. Now, this woman called into a show to figure out why this guy did not call her back. So what they do is the two show hosts, they get the guy on the phone, and the guy does not know that the woman is there. So they get the woman to be quiet, or vice versa, right? Sometimes it's a man calling about why a woman didn't call him back. So I just saw this video and I thought it was so funny. So the first word is she. I cut it at the wrong spot when I screen recorded it, but let's go.
Psychos put her on.
Or no, it's you. So he says you psychos. Okay, wait, let me turn the sound up. Make sure this is, oh, that was the problem.
Psychos put her on the phone.
Oh my God.
Yes, she's been here the whole time.
Chris, you do not need to be scared of me. There is nothing to be scared of. Hello, Chris?
I'm scared.
What you said was crazy. It was crazy.
Okay, Chris, let me be real right now. I do not like my roommate. She's messy and crazy. And yeah, I've thought about how I would kill her, but I would never do that. I'm just a really passionate, funny person, okay? No, stop. I'm being serious.
Nobody goes into details on how they would kill their roommate.
Detail. Just like, okay, a lot of people watch CSI and shows like that. So like, I am not alone in this. I'm just like, sometimes I'll be watching the show and like, she'll do something annoying again. And I'll just go in my mind and like think about what I would do, and how I would do it, and it makes me feel better. And I would never actually do it. Come on. I love mac and cheese. I'm not a serial killer.
That does not mean anything. I mean, I think everybody here, including Chris, has had a lot of bad roommates, and nobody has ever fantasized about chopping them into little pieces.
Yeah.
I'm terrified right now, if anybody wants to know.
Yeah, thank you for
So I
piping
wanna
up, Chris. I
poll-
was actually wondering.
I want to poll in the chat. I'm going to do. Would you call her? How do we do a poll? You know how to do a poll in the chat? I want to know if you guys would call her back. We're going to keep going. All right. I want to say, did he? Yeah, I'm putting it. Did he dodge a bullet? We're going to watch the rest. And when you guys have made a decision, I want you guys to answer. Because the comments on this were funny. Half the guys thought, what's he freaking out about? The other half were saying he dodged a bullet. So I want to know what my audience thinks. And I'm going to put, I am a woman for the two women that are watching today. I appreciate you, ladies. Okay.
Wondering about that. Okay, so Rebecca, you don't really want to kill your roommate.
No, of course not.
Okay,
What do you?
good.
But you can understand, like, if you were on a date with a guy and he was talking about how he was going to off his buddy, that would be kind of a red flag.
If he was talking about murdering like his friend in like a funny way, I would laugh.
In a funny way.
Are you guys listening to this? She's still talking about it. I just wanted the date to be about mac and cheese, not murder.
Oh my God, you just don't get it. I was just joking, like blowing off steam, like being a fun human being. What's wrong with you?
People
Come on,
don't
man.
blow off steam by fantasizing about murder.
I'm sure other people do.
Yeah, and they're in jail.
And you're the weird one. Okay?
How about this, Chris? Would you like to go out on a second date with Rebecca? We will pay for it.
You could not pay me enough.
Oh.
I mean, if you think of it this way, there's no way she has any outstanding warrants or anything. She wouldn't do a radio thing if that was the case.
I don't want to know anything about her background. I'm terrified I'm going to be tied to a future crime she commits.
You actually, honestly, 100% believe that I am capable of murdering someone? Are you serious? Are you serious? Come on, just be normal. You're so cute.
Just be normal. Just be normal. You're so cute.
Oh my God, that is a plea that so many women have said before.
Chris, will you be normal? You're so cute. Will you go out with her again one more time?
I'm normal, and she's not, and we're not going out again.
All right. Well, thank you for telling us about your date. I think you're safe now.
Oh, he is not safe. I'm going to keep messaging you because you're cute, and if you think I'm crazy, I'll be crazy.
Whoa!
You haven't seen anything yet. That was just joking.
Rebecca, he doesn't want to go out with you, though. Just, like, cut your losses. You can find somebody else who's cute and normal on your level.
And like mac and cheese, I doubt it. Chris, we're going out next Friday to the third restaurant, okay?
Oh!
Are you guys hearing this?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you have a date. I'm sorry.
I think you should show up.
We'll still pay for it.
We're going to pay for it.
You go there on Friday, okay? And if I don't show up in like an hour, just keep waiting because I'll be there.
Show up eventually.
You psychos.
So what do you guys think? Did he dodge a bullet? Okay, the chat 84% says yes. I thought she was kind of funny. I won't lie to you guys. I thought she was funny. Sue me. But you know what? Most women barely know how to speak proper English. Do we got anything on the website? Nothing. Guys, $10 a month, $80 a year. You want your opinion valued? You want to comment on the show and I read it no matter what? Go to the website, click on live stream. We have an app. All right. You know, on both, it's the Audacity Network on both Android. Yeah, I always forget what the other one's called. I'm an Apple girl. Apple and Android. Could you fix the thing? Okay, guys. So today we're going to talk about the art of taking an L. But before we do, I need to talk about... Wait, you got to do it again. All right, but before we do, I need to talk about the simp epidemic. As most of you know, I have been on the front lines of the simp epidemic for years, but I need to tell you guys about a quiet weapon being ratcheted up against men that is rarely talked about. It's not just the relentless anti-masculinity propaganda and OnlyFans hoes causing the societal issues we discuss in this show. Did you know that the average city's tap water contains trace pharmaceuticals and endocrine disruptors? This often includes estrogen from birth control. The average adult consumes a credit card worth of plastic every week. That's 5 grams of plastic a week on average, so it's no wonder that the average male's testosterone is half of what it was 50 years ago. Testosterone declines 1% a year, and without course correction, we are headed towards extinction. No matter how based you are, you need to be naturally boosting your testosterone, my friends at Chalk. CHOQ.com are on a mission to save mankind from extinction by boosting your vitality. Chalk's Male Vitality Stack contains premium and potent herbs clinically studied to naturally boost your testosterone levels, sperm count, and overall vitality. Just one of the many ingredients in the Male Vitality Stack was studied in double-blind human clinical trials to boost total testosterone 20% in 90 days. When you boost your testosterone levels, you'll have more mental clarity, you're more capable of making decisions and taking risks. Having high testosterone will also affect your pheromones, so women will find you more attractive subconsciously. Get the Chalk Male Vitality Stack right now on chalk.com. That's CHOQ.com. Use my name Pearl as your coupon code and you'll get 25% off site-wide on chalk.com. That's CHOQ.com. My name is Pearl. That is the discount code. And I took this before I ran my marathon, guys. It's good. I'll tell you what, I actually like the taste, which I don't usually like for pre-workout. Anyways, so today we're going to talk about the art of taking an L. Now, what is taking an L in life? You know, an example is getting fired from your job. That's an L. Another example is a man simping really hard, paying for a woman for months. You know, there's men that pay women's rent without getting any punani. Zero. Nothing. Do you know what that's called? An L. And one of the biggest differences between men and women is men are better at taking losses because society tells men where they are, where they stand and if they are good enough early on in life. Men get audited where women do not. You know, if a woman is average looking, she can get above average results by putting on a pound of makeup, getting a good boob job, and, you know, putting on a filter on a dating app. Boom. And you guys know how you are. If you're already on the date and she's hot enough, even if she catfished you guys a little bit, can we just be honest here? I'm really tired of the dishonesty. If you guys get on a date, and even if she doesn't look like her pictures, if she's attractive enough, you still might do it. Like, let's not. I hate it when you guys cap to me. I really don't like it. So the average modern women will take L's in the modern women life cycle, especially when it comes to dating in the early and mid 20s. We all know what the dating apps are telling us. Women are sharing men. There's no special app that's different. If a woman is on a dating app or even Instagram, and really most of history, monogamy is a relatively new thing historically. So we are sharing men. It's literally in our DNA. So women are going to sleep with at least one man in her life that is not interested in anything but sex. Most women will have a time where they thought things were headed towards something serious, ignoring all the red flags along the way, just to find out that that guy had no intention of being in a relationship. Or maybe he was initially, interested in being in a relationship, but he changed his mind. Not only do women not know how to take L's, but there's a whole social infrastructure in place to prevent women from doing so. How many of you guys have seen an idiot woman in a job that she does not deserve? How many guys have seen a man dating a woman that offers nothing and you keep thinking you could dump her now? That is a blue-haired feminist. She has blue hair. She fights with you every single day. Her personality isn't even good. She cheated on you 5 times, Brad. And you think, what the hell is he doing? Well, I mean, again, men have a tendency to accept less than they deserve. I mean, how many of you guys have seen that in a father, an uncle, a friend? That's not uncommon. A man can keep a woman on friends with benefits for years, with the woman being a willing participant, but the man is still demonized, even if she knew full well what the situation was. How many of you guys have seen a sister? I don't know, maybe some of you had a single mother. I don't know. A sister, a mother, a friend who was clearly in a situationship that she wanted to be more and was going nowhere. If a woman wants to be in a relationship and she is in a situationship, which is sex without commitment, that is an L. Now, I understand that sometimes it's the man in the situationship. I mean, I hear stories from you guys. I've heard stories from men where they wanted to be in a relationship and the woman told them no. I find this really common in the men right below the chads. Like they're almost chads. So the ladies are going for the chads, but in between, they might go for a below chad. And the below chad is like, dang, this woman's hot. I'll take it. I'll take it off the lot, sir. I want this one. And she's like, no, I just want something casual. That happens too. But, what are the solutions? Who do I see? I want to talk about who I see winning in this market, because I know we talk about the sexes, drifting further and further apart. But every now and then I like to talk about the ladies that I've seen win. I know I like to rag on us and talk about the modern woman life cycle. And I do want to give a disclaimer that these sometimes may sound like generalizations. And maybe they are, but this is based on my personal experience and what I've seen. I interviewed 1,000 people in London. And just over the years, I've been on a lot of different volleyball teams and a lot of different social groups. So, you guys can take it or leave it, but this is just the women that I've seen win, at least right now. I can't predict what'll happen in the future. Now, the common pattern I noticed with these women is they had the ability to put their ego aside, ignore what everybody was telling them, not take personal anything that wasn't their fault. And that was how they won. So there was a girl I knew in college. And freshman year, she started hooking up with this guy on the baseball team. Now, this guy on the baseball team was a bit of a player. You know what I mean? Like he was one of the better looking ones. She was on that wagon from freshman year. And for about 5 years, she was in this situationship. Now, the men are thinking, women will give it up for free for years? They don't move on. They have so many options. Look, guys, I'm just telling you what I've seen. And this woman was so attached. And to be fair, he was probably 2 points above her in looks. Like, I'd give her like a 6. He was probably an 8. And I thought at the time, I thought she was stupid. I'm being honest, okay? I'm not always right. And at this point, I thought she was an idiot. I thought he was never going to date her. I mean, guys, from my perspective, it had been 5 years. And, recently I checked up on them. She's now pregnant with his kid. So what did she do? How did she win? She won by not listening to the women like me at the time, to all of the people telling her he was never going to commit, and sticking it out and doing it. Now, to be fair, I want to be fair. That's not always going to work. There are women that do that and they just dump them and marry the next. That happens too. But the thing is, men have more of a sense of duty. So some women that stick it out, the men feel loyal to. They think, you know what? This woman has been there. I've gone for the women I actually want, and they're not really that loyal to me. So good enough. Men, when they're ready to settle down, have kids, do their thing, they'll take good enough. Women, unfortunately, you know what? We do too. We do on some level. But then we divorce them later. Men are just kind of better people. Not all. Now, I know another woman, it was the same thing. She had a boyfriend. This wasn't a situationship, but she wanted to be married. She met him in college, and right after college, she wanted to marry him. And he said, Naski, nada, no, I'm not doing it because I am not ready. Now, she had 2 options here. She could have went and found the next guy. But this guy was a bit of a Chad. He was 6'4". He went out of college making about $250,000, $300,000 a year. I'm not saying she can't replace him, but that's tough, right? And I'm not going to say she didn't have other men that maybe would have been just as good. Because let's be honest here. If a woman can attract one guy on that level, it's not unheard of for her to be able to attract another. But she said, you know what? I'm going to stick it out. And 10 years later, she got the ring. And the thing is, the women I see winning are women that are willing to take the risk. Now, there's this new wave of female dating advice where the new strategy is to hold out as long as possible on giving men girlfriend treatment. No sex, no cooking, no cleaning until I get what I want. And I don't really see those women winning. And the reason I don't is because they're going into it with so much fear. They go in afraid of the worst that could happen. Now, I know, let's go another woman who took an L. There was a woman at my college. She was the biggest 304. My God. She was sleeping with everyone, guys. I'm just being honest here. But, again, women have to do different strategies in order to win. Not every woman has this. Like a woman that's an 8 strategy and a woman that's a 5 strategy is going to be completely different. An 8 might be able to hold off on sex way longer than a guy's going to wait for a 5. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not, it's not the same. But this girl, I'd put her at maybe a 7. Strong 7, right? She didn't have to sleep with everyone. I'm going to be honest. She really didn't have to do that, but she did. She wanted to. But she realized the position she was in. And what she decided to do is she was just going to learn to be really nice, not really play any games with the sex. Any guy that she was interested in was going to get it. And get really good in bed, and eventually there was a taker. I mean, what do you guys want? You want, and sometimes men, not always, I know. Sometimes men will go for the hoe who's nice over the bitchy prude. Because sometimes you wonder, you think, why on earth would a guy marry that woman? We see it happen with porn stars. But the thing with slutty women is sometimes they take the time to understand men where the prudes don't always, because they think all they have to do is not have had sex with that many people. Now, granted, men's standards are pretty low nowadays. A lot of men will take that, they will. But not the men we're all fighting for on the dating apps, not the men that they were fighting for on campus, right? The men that have choice are going to be selective, or at least more selective than the men that don't. So I did a couple thoughts I had. These women had to figure out how to move on from the L's those guys made them took. If those women were constantly bringing up the fact that he took a decade to propose, they probably never would have gotten a ring. If the woman was constantly bringing up that she was in a situationship and she did so much for him, blah, 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 she never would have got the ring. The women that win, if they're going to take an L, they move on from it fast. They really do. Now, I wanted to talk about reasons men will not call you back. I've been taking polls from women privately. I think I need to do like an anonymous poll, because this is just from the ladies. And I asked them the question, how many men did you sleep with to get your boyfriend? Because let's be honest, women think they have a boyfriend a lot of times, especially in the cities. Women could think they're in a full-fledged relationship with a guy, and it could just be a situationship with him. So the question is, how many men did you have to sleep with in order to get to commitment? The lowest number I got, 3. The highest number I got, 17. And, I put in the reasons that men, you guys can add to this, are not going to call you back. Number 1, you're self-centered. You don't talk about anything but yourself. But they want to bang, right? They want the sex. So they gotta pretend you're not for the night. Men can do that. You're too annoying, too awkward, too overweight, too much of a slut. Now, these are the things that are completely in your control, right? If you're really annoying, you can kind of work on that, get a little bit better. If you're really overweight, you can hit the treadmill. If you're too self-centered, those are things you can improve. And men, they figure that out in dating, right? Because they go on some dates, and men are just more strategic and analytical than us. So they're trying to actually fix their problems. We just want to talk about it and complain. So reasons men don't call you back that are out of your control. 1, you're not as tight. Look, I have a guy friend. And, by the way, sometimes, I'm going to go. I have a guy friend, and his type is tall blondes. That's just his thing. He likes the big boobs. But I've seen him date Asian women. I've seen him date Latina women. I've seen him hook up with them, maybe date for a couple months. But I know, and he knows, that when it's time to settle down, he is going to do it with a tall blonde, because that's his type. Now, do some men compromise and say, you know what, maybe that's something I can let go? Sure, that totally happens. But the men with the most choice, they're going to be picky. Ben Affleck messed around with minority women. He dated J-Lo, but when it came time to settle down, he had kids with Jennifer Gardner. Some men have a specific type, or they want their kids to look like them. Some men have a type that they're going to sleep with and not marry. There is a certain level of attractiveness for a woman that a man is going to be seen in public with. Guys, fellas, one in the chat if you've ever been at a club or a bar and you're drinking and you might have slept with or made out with a girl you're not really proud of. Who's done it? Let's just be honest here. Please stop capping. Who has hooked up with a whale? Who's done it? Someone's doing it. The overweight women are too confident for none of you to have done it. Yup. 2, he's just not ready to settle down. You could meet. Our biological clock ticks a little faster than the men, a lot faster. Let's say you want 4 kids. You probably got to start before 25. Let's say you're a woman, you want 4 children, and you met Prince Charming at 22. Well, Prince Charming, sometimes he has career goals he wants to do first and accomplish first. And it doesn't matter how much nagging you do. He is not going to settle down. The men we want, right? I mean, men, the more desperate men, they're gonna give up what they want for whatever the mediocre pussy wants, right? That's what they'll do. They'll move to it. They will. But the men that we compete for, the small percentage of men, it's not really just an income thing. It's more of a mindset. They're not going to do it until they want to do it. And then you have 2 options. You can risk it, right? You can spend more youth and hope that he decides to have 2 children or he decides to have a kid with you before you're 35 or 30. And, some women pay a price for that. They get dumped and then he marries the next woman. There's no guarantees. There's only different strategies. Strategy number 2, dump him and find someone else. That's it. That's all you got. And a lot of times dating is just different strategies, right? There's just different strategies to get what you want. There's no guarantees. Sometimes you have the best strategy on the planet and you just took an L. I mean, how many men out there were great fathers and did all the things right? So there's one guy that's been on our show. His requirements for a wife were 2 parents in the home, under 27, had to have no debt, had to have a real job, like responsible, and worked with kids. He found it. And guess what? She still ruined his life. What else was he supposed to do? I've had men marry virgin women that were homeschooled and they ruined their life. All we have is different strategy. It's the same for women. In all honesty, I've seen more women be rewarded for waiting it out. There's this, trend on social media where they say, if he doesn't give you exactly what you want immediately, like the marriage, the ring, the children, I find that when men give women exactly what they want immediately, usually they're just more in it to get what they want, the kid. But I find that the women that waited out, they seem to be more loyal at this point in my life. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it'll switch in a decade of what I see. This is just what I've seen, the people I knew in high school and college. So, again, another reason that he might not call you back that's out of your control is you're just not attractive enough for him. There are strategies to try to improve this, right? Try losing weight. But if you're in shape, there's really not much you can do. Now, I'm not going to simp. A lot of the traditional conservatives and virtue signalers online will say, plastic surgery does not work. Men hate plastic surgery. That's true when they know about it. The problem is, I've shown men pictures of faces like with nose jobs, for example, boob jobs are a little bit more obvious, but the technology's getting better and better and better. The men can't always tell. They think they're smarter than they are. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm not gonna virtue signal right now and pretend I haven't seen it work ever. But I've seen both. I've seen women really mess up their face. I really have. I've seen women that were pretty go to below average, but I've also seen women that were average go up like 1 or 2 points. There's no guarantees in life, so there's only trade-offs. One man I know said he would not marry his wife unless she got a boob job because he was a boob guy, and he's like, look, she did it. So what, I'm going to tell you guys that I've never seen that help? What do you want me to do? So the boob jobs can be toxic. They totally can, but I see men getting height surgery. There's a guy that got height surgery who said it was the best investment he ever made. How am I going to be that black and white and say, no, plastic surgery is always a bad idea? Now, it's expensive. And if you're going to go the plastic surgery route, you're going to want to go for the men that are a little more superficial and in the city. You're not going to want to go for the country guy. The country guys, they're not going to be with that. They see it as an expense. The city is a bit more superficial. So the city, the guys there, many of them are I've heard men say they want their wives to get Botox there. And these are high earning men that I've heard say this. The country, the culture is a little different. Pearl's right. It's the deceit. Look, I'm not going to lie to you guys. They've done polls on men on which boobs they prefer, and they didn't tell them which were natural and which weren't. Which ones do you think men picked? They've done the YouTube videos of men trying to guess what's natural, what's not. Now, this makes the guys feel icky. They don't like being tricked. They don't like being deceived. And, we could talk about the morality of it, right? We could go into, is this moral? Is this not moral? And you might feel like it's not moral. The country people, they tend to have more morals. The city people have less morals. Just in general, right? Just in general. Look, I'm not telling you one way or another. I'm trying to tell you what I've seen work and what I've seen not work. But you got to be really careful with the plastic surgery because you can mess up your face real easy. It just takes one bad surgery. Now, I did some strategies for the ladies to get out of a situationship because I have seen women move out of the fuck zone to the wife zone. Now, I do understand that men put you in categories, and most of the time you're stuck. But I want to talk about the women I've seen get out of it. Number one, wait until he's ready. Now, this strategy is going to work better if a woman's in her early 20s, late teens. The reason is she's got more time to bargain with, right? But that's why you get the older women saying their biological clock is ticking because they decided to wait it out and make it the men's problem. Men, they want to feel like stuff happens naturally. They don't want to feel like it's forced. And when you come in saying, I want to be married at this time, have kids within this time, again, that's just making them pay for your problem. 2, be more attractive. A guy will screw around with a girl that's like 20 pounds overweight at 2 a.m. Please stop acting like you guys are above it. Can you please stop? Please. I am tired of this chat. Don't say situationship to me. Look, we're in 2024. I'm using the modern terms. What do you want? So be more attractive, get in better shape. You can go the plastic surgery route, but that's a risk, right? What I would do is I'd study who has he dated officially before and how much hotter were they than you. I'm assuming they're hotter than you because there's just no way. That's if it's an attraction thing, that's what I would do. You got to find his exes. how much more attractive than you are they? And can you get close? Because men will go down a point or two, but every man has a limit because they know if you're here, it's just going to go down. You're going to have kids. They got to mentally add on the 20 pounds that comes with the kids. I mean, they're pragmatic, right? I'm hitting them all, Pearl. Of course you are, Black Panther. Of course. I mean, come on. Now, the other ways I've seen women be useful. Pearl, it's a unicorn, okay? Okay, these are the unicorns I've seen. God. Obviously there's cooking, right? But especially in the city, in the country, men value this more. In the city, there's guys that just get Chipotle and they have like 2 or 3 restaurants or food that they go to. They don't care about that as much. It's just not as important to them. In the country, it's more important. You could pack his lunch, counting the calories if you got a gym guy. You pack the lunch, put the protein powder in, whatever. I've seen women help with a guy's business or work. So one woman, he didn't have, many women want to help a guy with his business, but the problem is most men don't have businesses. They have jobs. Most men don't get to work about things they're passionate about, right? So they get to work for things they have to do. But she knew her man did not really like his job. It wasn't. So what she decided to do was give him a social media rebrand. She picked out the outfits that would make him look good. She had him take social media, new LinkedIn pictures. She made him a resume and she started applying to new places for him. That's helpful. That's another woman I know. And this woman, this was her last shot. I got to be honest. She was like 37 when she met her husband. She was divorced. This was her last shot. This woman knew this either works out or I'm cooked. I'm done. They said, Pearl, you were ruined by the city. Do you want me to not have eyes? And this is the thing. Country people sometimes can be a little naive. The city is just a little bit more savage. But the men, because what happens is the women come back from the city, and it doesn't even have to be that big of a city. And the men don't know the tricks, and then they get played. Look, I don't care. You guys can take it or leave it. Okay, so this woman figured out how to code and built her husband a website. She told me it was the hardest thing she ever did. She quit her marketing job. She said, you know what? He's got a business. It's a side hustle now. I'm going to quit. I'm going to work for him. I was thinking in my industry, YouTube editing, that could help. You guys can put stuff in the chat that you think of. These were off the dome, right? I put massages. Guys like massages, Now, number 4 is, so learning to be useful really is just paying attention to your guy. Maybe he likes cooking and you can help him be neater. It's not doing the things he already likes to do. Some guys like to cook. You learn to clean. It's figuring out what he doesn't like to do and doing that. Now, the next is being less annoying. When men come back from a hard day's work, they just want peace and quiet. They don't want any problems. So, there's listening to understand instead of waiting for your turn to talk, talking less, apologizing. How many of you guys have dated a woman that did not know how to apologize and could never see when she was wrong? Guys, it's never been easier to date a guy out of our league. I believe this because the market is so bad right now. I mean, out of our competition, 80% of women are overweight. You're competing with 20% of women. And the hot women tend to go to the cities. So there's a lot of bad decisions there that are made. So Learning to apologize and just admitting when you're wrong does a lot. Don't be a big bill. If you have expensive habits, pay for them yourself and expect to pay for them for a lifetime. Or, which goes to my next point, being financially responsible. There's women that do their nails every 2 weeks. How many could learn to do them themselves? Expensive haircuts could go. Maybe go to the gym instead of getting a BBL. I don't know. Pay off your debt. No man wants a monthly house payment to start a marriage. Don't be a bill with a big mouth. Now, the men that actually get laid, the men that are a part of the sexual marketplace, the men that women are competing for, they know that women have to go to places to socialize in order to meet men. Unless you're going to go the complete digital route, which is an option, but let's say you don't. They're not really going to fault you if you go to a bar sometimes, if you have hobbies with other people around, that's not it. But a man wants to be with a woman whose hobbies and activities can be dropped to put him as a priority, and they could benefit both parties. Yes. Now, the next thing that I think women sometimes take L's because we can't figure out what we want. Now, there was a woman I played volleyball with. Guys, I have these stories for days. I've been on a different volleyball team pretty much every year. It's like 10 new women a year. You get pretty close with them in like 6 months. God, I have these stories for days. She really just liked Pookies. That was just her thing, but she was trying to fight it. And I understand trying to fight it, right? I get it. I've told this story before. So she dated a guy freshman, sophomore year. That was a Pookie. He was totally Pookie, Ray. He was on the football team. Junior, senior year, she starts dating a new guy. Now, this guy looked, I'm not going to go into looks, but the one guy was built, football player. The other guy had a beer belly. Just not as attractive. I'm just being honest here. And she moved on to him. And it's not like women go into relationships maliciously, but I think a lot of times we can't answer the question of what she wanted. Now, we had day parties. I don't know if you guys had those in college, but it's like everyone's drinking outside. And I go into the basement of to go into the bathroom, right? And I'm waiting for hours, it felt like hours for this bathroom. And she was at a party with her current boyfriend, hooking up in the bathroom with the guy from freshman year. Because deep down, that was her type. Her type was a Pookie. Now, if you want Gavin, the starving musician, if you want Pookie Ray, I would suggest, we got to work with you here. Because the men will say, we'll just be attracted to the other thing. Good luck. You guys are way too logical. You guys can do that. Women, not so much. Once a woman has a type, it's tough to switch it. And that's why they end up in sexless marriages, is because the woman gives up their type for marriage and then can't figure out why she doesn't want to sleep with her husband. So if I was advising this woman, I would say, look, you got to break up with this guy. I'm sorry. Or you can cheat on him for life, because I don't see you stopping now. I can't, if I had to predict the future, I just can't see you. If you're doing this now, I don't see you not doing it later. Now, she's still with this guy. This guy does not know. What I would say is, look, you like Pookies, you like Rays, you like the starving musicians. Let's go find one that has enough money that is stable. There's men, okay, you're never going to be rich. Let's give that up. Let's forget that. But let's go for one option. Why don't you go for a coach? If you like the athletes, let's go for a coach that's employed. Now, he's going to cheat, probably. They're not faithful, but let's just accept that because you're either going to be the cheater or you're going to be cheated on in this scenario. So I would say let's go to a personal trainer. Ask him how many clients he has. He is probably going to bang them. Let's just be honest here. But I'm trying to be pragmatic based on what she wants, based on her actions, not her words, her actions. Music teacher, right? You can, if you like musicians, go for the music teacher. Ask him, figure out how many students he has. Somebody has to own a music studio that makes money. An actor, right? But an actor that's semi-employed. If he makes $45,000 a year, $35,000, that's called good enough. Take it. He's going to make that for life. Don't expect him to get better. Because, I mean, this is the industry. Look at, I'm just trying to be pragmatic. Now, some women, they want a wife instead of a husband. And I don't think anyone's right or wrong. This is the thing. Everyone wants to say, I did it this way, live like me. That's the conservative fantasy is, I had 10 children, 5 children. My wife stayed home, lived like me. But I could point to 3 people that didn't work out for. That's why it's really important to do what you want. Because if you live life for other people, the woman, she was living life for her family because she was going off of what they wanted instead of what she wanted. And maybe that's good. I don't know. You could, but I'm trying to be pragmatic to help if I was to strategize how to get what you want. Okay. Some women want a wife instead of a husband. They want to pursue the career, and they want to give nothing up when they have children. They're not going to leave their career behind. She wants to have it all and have him deal with all that foolishness. She wants to travel for work. Some options here, you could go the customer service men in retail. I bet there's some men working at Home Depot with some muscles, not the good-looking men that you could go for. You could do it at a sports store, maybe in an industry that's kind of hot, right? Where if they knew a lot about that industry, maybe they sell guns, male teachers. But it's got to be guys that, one, don't have a ton of options, but have some, because I don't want you to cheat either. They said the Amish community takes care of their own. Go there at your own risk. Go be Amish. Have fun. Go ahead. Everyone talks about, look at. Now, you want a super good looking man. Okay, let's strategize. Models, club promoters, DJs, actors. It maybe looks personal trainer. Maybe looks is what you want. You have only dated hot, broke. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to go with the ladies. They want stupid things, but they're never going to stop wanting stupid things. So let's try to find a stupid thing that works at least better, right? Let's try to be pragmatic. They fear being dominated, and they start to screw over the only one who would take her out of the hole. I know, look. Now, maybe the woman says, you know what? F this. I want to marry rich. That is what I want to do. I am going in and I am going to marry rich. Okay, at least we can figure out that's what you want. Let's be pragmatic. You're going to need a big set of fake boobs if you don't have any. You're going to need to get to the gym, 120. Yep. Get on that treadmill, 120. The rich men, they're not playing. You got to Google, what are the highest paid professions in your city? What city are you in? Who's making the money? The guys are saying 140 is my final. Okay. The thinner, the better. C-suite, doctor, defense attorneys in the right area, finance, airline pilots, flight engineers, sales. all can be pretty high paid. You got to research the industry, figure out who's making the cash and what types of women are they marrying. You know, if you want to marry rich, but you have an arm sleeve, right? That's you're like, oh shit. When I was younger, I got a chest tattoo. This is an L. Okay, which rich men would accept that? Now I know you guys are saying, oh, Pearl, none of them. Well, a rock star would, but that's not going to work. I'd have to think more about which rich ones. Who would? I think engineers would be less picky. It's like they're not like front facing as much. They're kind of, yeah, you tell me, women, doctors, lawyers, bankers. She better be over 6 foot tall to be over 130. Tell them. Now, the next question is, how do you get access to these guys in the professions? Now, one strategy a lot of women do is to work with them. But to the younger ladies watching the two, I really wouldn't do that nowadays because the men have seen too many of their other men get me too'd at work. Now, there's always going to be the guy that does it, but usually he's either a dog, like he's never going to settle down. He doesn't discriminate. He's going to F anything. Or he's just not that intelligent and you don't want to go that route. Now, places you can get access to these guys, country clubs, networking events. There are events for specific fields. So there are like conventions. There's sales conventions. There's doctors conventions. You got to figure out where they're at. Go stay at the same hotel in those conventions. Boom. Go work at a coffee shop that has these conventions. Get a high net worth hobby. Skiing, boating, golfing, fashion, suits. You can work there. Get a job working near these, I think, is a better strategy nowadays than working with them. Like nurses used to be able to go for doctors, and they still do. But again, the smarter men are going to stop doing that. Oh, MMA fighters love tats. You guys are so pragmatic. I'm trying to be pragmatic here. Customer service at a country club or tennis facility, high-end restaurant, coffee club or coffee shop. Look, imagine there's coffee shops in hospitals. If your thing's a doctor, you go work at a coffee shop for 6 months. If you get some leads, keep working there. If you don't, move on. Server, I want to tell you guys a story. So my dad has a friend who has a skybox at a basketball game, and my family, we all went. And at the skybox, they have people that bring you food. And there was a woman who brought dessert. Now, who isn't happy when they get dessert? One in the chat, if you are excited when somebody brings warm cookies. So this is an angle that this woman could have taken. She is the woman bringing in the warm cookies to rich men. And she was obese. What? I'm thinking that she looked like she was from the city, right? And I'm thinking you could change the whole trajectory of your family. All you would have had to do is be thin and serve these cookies. I promise to God, you would get a taker if you started flirting with these guys. I mean, it's just a numbers game. If she's serving, okay, let me get this straight. Okay, let's say there's 50 of these boxes. I don't actually know. I'm just making up a number. And these guys give it to their rich friends, right? One of them is going to have a son. Somebody is going to go through there and be a taker, but she was obese. Other ideas, rich neighborhoods, Home Depot in a rich neighborhood. There's a lot of, especially if you're in the country, those guys are going to want to do things themselves. They want to fix things. I'd have to do more research into the time of day. I'm guessing after work, you're going to go to Home Depot. Cigar lounge, high-end alcohol. The places, the Rolex shops, breweries, sports games or sports bars that play high-end sports. But even normal sports games. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg was talking about MMA fighting the other day. Whatever neighborhood those guys live in, you got to figure it out. That can be Googled. And so the women that I see that win they go in with a plan. They figure out the net worth of these neighborhoods. They figure out the profession they're going to go after. They know that they're probably not going to get called back by a couple men. That is, they're just going to take an L because that's just going to happen. And they keep going till they win. Now, to be fair, for every one winner, there's 10 losers. Most women are going to die alone and don't have the skills to do this. Too fat. But it's never been easier for women to win. It really hasn't. My friend was 37. And I'm not saying this story to sell dreams or hope. Ladies, if you're watching, it's probably not going to be you. I'm just being honest. But just balance of probabilities. I doubt you're going to do the work. But she married a guy that was a millionaire at 37. And the way she did that was she gave up everything. She gave up everything of her old life, did whatever he wanted, and did it for like 7 years until he married her. This was her last chance. She was not effing this up. Women do not need to go to college. Women need the Bible, a cookbook, Jesus, and a good man. Well, that's an easy thing to say, but that's not really a strategy on how they're going to find the guy. And I'm trying to take morality out of this because it's so easy to go online and say, well, the moral thing is that it's lazy to me. It is so easy to say women shouldn't divorce their husband. That's easy. And I've said it, right? I have. But I got bored, right? Because the incentives are there. They're going to do it anyway. You guys might say, oh, women should marry for reasonable things. Women shouldn't go after the top 10% of men. They're going to do it anyway. We might as well be pragmatic here. If, the woman likes drug dealers, okay, maybe let's go. Let's look at that archetype. Let's go for pharmacists instead. or, maybe a criminal that does petty crime. Do you know what I mean? Like, trying to take women away from the drug dealers is a waste of your time. Or, okay, let's try to get you a reformed one that has some steps going towards being reformed. You're like, Pearl, tell the women not to date these guys. Yeah, okay. Pearl, we want to make the first step. Tell us where to find those good, innocent women. Okay, well, the Amish. Look at guys. There are good women, but the challenge is you just are never going to know. It's a roll of the dice. I don't know what your woman is going to be like at 42. There have been women that at 22, they got married and I thought they were good picks for wives. 10 years later, it was a different story. I don't know, okay, the same way, we don't know the type of person a man is going to be when he's rich. There have been men that virtue signal about never wanting to cheat. But the second that he gets fame and influence, power, maybe he changes his mind. Many women, when they get leverage in the relationship, they change their mind and they change their behaviors because the incentives are there. They said, are you guys seriously going to the Amish? Okay, go ahead. Here, let me read these chats. Okay. I'm 5'7" and took a 4'8", 200-pound girl from the bar just to get laid. So I knew someone. Thank you for being honest, Fazelle. I appreciate the honesty. Otherwise, my type is tall, blonde, blue-eyed women with naturally big booties. No surgeries at all. Thank you for being honest. 4'8", 200 pounds. Wow, that's. Dane, guys say you're saying you go to the Amish, but they're smart enough not to marry outside. It's almost impossible to become Amish because it includes the German culture. Look, women leave the Amish all the time. I've seen the like women talking about they make whole documentaries on women that left the Amish. It's possible, but you're gonna have the same problem as the passport bros unless you're going all in and joining that community. The passport bros, how many of them had a perfectly good, submissive, beautiful wife in Asia? And they bring them back, and then all of the sudden, she is modern. I look at incentives. Now, we're gonna, I want to just say this. The women that I've seen win are the ones that learn from their mistakes. And they don't take rejection personally. The women that I see wallow about next for years, they're cooked. Done. The women that I see, they don't get called back. They hook up with a guy. They think he wants a relationship. They have sex, take that L. And then they pull themselves out of the dating market for like 6 months. Cooked, done. Don't see them winning. It's the women that go in with a plan and are trying to get what they want and let go of the things that don't work out or the mistakes that the men they love make. Because a lot of these women that took the L's and ended up winning, they really had to learn to not hold over their head the resentment of not getting what they want. Tough one. Maybe you guys have seen something different though. This is just my perspective. Now, we're going to watch some TikToks of women not being able to take L's.
If you and your situationship
Okay, here we go.
are having the what are we conversation and he doesn't want a relationship, this is what you're going to say to him. Never believe a guy who says, I didn't mean to misdirect you when they literally treated you exactly like a relationship would.
How do you guys want them to treat you during casual sex? Do you want them to be mean to you? Most guys, they're not looking. The men that just want sex, they don't want relationships. They don't want to be an asshole to you. But how many of them said, I don't want to be in a relationship?
That's an emotionally unavailable man, and he knew exactly what he was doing. He just wants to get away with it. Therefore, stop beating his ego, stop responding, stop being cool with him just because you want the attention. There's so many other guys out there that you could be giving your time and energy to who would die to date someone like you. There's many reasons why a guy will not want to jump into something serious and he's like dragging things along. He just likes like the attention or whatever. The nice guy is going to explain himself. The asshole is going to ghost you and just treat you as if like you meant nothing. The nice guy, whether it's genuine or not, he's gonna say something like, oh, I think you're such a great girl and stuff like that, blah blah blah, whatever. You are going to keep it short and sweet. You're not going to be problematic. You're going to ask the right questions without pushing too hard on like why it is that he doesn't want something serious with you. And you can catch if this guy is lying by asking a question like, did you always feel this way? Like basically, since the second he started talking to you, was this his point of view?
Sometimes in the beginning, that's another thing. Sometimes in the beginning, they might have intended to date you. And then either they changed their mind, they start hooking up with a couple girls and they thought, nah, I don't want this. Or they saw a red flag. Said, oh, she's too crazy. Nope, next.
All the time, or did he change his mind throughout the process? I'm not trying to sound disingenuous when I say this, but I also don't think you should come off as if you wanted a relationship with him while he's the one telling you he doesn't. It's not about what he wants, it's about what you both want. So I would ask a question trying to figure out where you both stand. And listen, if you're catching feelings, I don't suggest you keep hanging out with this guy as if you guys are gonna date, because this is just gonna upset you more.
They're gonna do it anyway. On my show, I'd ask women the longest situationship they had. like 4 years, 3 years is an average.
You can also mention that, like, it's not fair if you guys continue to hang out as if you guys are dating, and maybe make it more official that you guys are more like flirty friends. And if that's something you cannot handle, do not do it. I always like to tell my girlfriends, like, if you're hanging out with a guy and you catch yourself falling for him, and if you know he doesn't feel mutual, I wouldn't put yourself in a situation because you like him to keep hanging out with him knowing that it's not going to go anywhere, because you're only going to hurt yourself. And if this guy has no desire to tell you where you guys stand and he goes to you and treats you less than well, then that should tell you enough, and you should just not stoop down to his level and send him paragraphs and stuff. You should simply walk away, be unbothered, and he will come back around. And when he does, I hope you
They're not going to come back around. Oh, they might for sex.
slam the door in his face. You want someone to love you the way that you know how to love somebody else. Therefore, when you find
If we did, then we would go with the guys that that love us. It's not what we do.
someone who's not loving you the way you love, you almost try to subconsciously change them. And if they're not willing to change, then drop them off. Stop trying. Literally drop them off. They're not your business anymore. If it's not
I actually agree with that to some level. It depends what strategy you want to do. Strategy one, I don't tell you which one to do, because you ladies, the two that watch me, you know the guy better than I do. It's either option A, stick it out, and hopefully eventually he'll change his mind. I've seen that work. I wouldn't say it's the normal. I wouldn't say it's the majority, but I have seen it work. Or B, move on. If you're going to go option B, yeah, I would just move on.
not a yes, it's delivered as a no, regardless if it comes out of his mouth or not. Love you.
Okay, let's keep going with these L's.
Situationship breakups are way worse than real breakups because you feel crazy for being sad about it because you didn't even really date.
Situationship alpha guy. Women don't get sad over breaking up with security guys. So that's why she's saying the situationship is worse.
In your head you did, but oh, that doesn't count, I guess. And also, when you go to tell people about it, that you're going through a breakup right now and it's a catastrophic event in your life, so mind you, everyone's first question is always, oh my god, how long did you two date? And you're like, okay, what kind of, that's such a subjective question. We went on, I don't know, 2 dates. One of them was in my mind. Why is that relevant? Like, what is this, the Oprah Winfrey show? Like, what do you need all the details? Like, something about you is that you're really nosy. You're really nosy. And then when you're explaining the details back to your friends, suddenly it sounds just way worse coming out of your mouth than it felt like living it. Like, you're like, okay, so let me explain. They said that they like me a lot, right? But they just hate hanging out with me. Let me explain that in the context of this specific I think if you were just on the first date with us, the ambiance, they said that they like a lot of things about me, but they hate 10 to 15 parts of my personality. But that's, you have to meet them, okay? Like, you weren't there when we were alone together, right? You weren't there. And then he didn't text me for like a full week. Here's why that is, it's different, because he has a job and he doesn't like technology. I've always said I didn't want anyone that's on their phone all the time. Have I showed you guys his Instagram? He's really hot.
Okay, there's another L. Let's keep going.
No, like, I need to know why you're ignoring me. Because the thing is, you said you were going to call me when you got home. And I know your ass is home because I have your damn location. So I'm trying to figure out why you're not picking up the phone or texting me back. Yeah, I need to know. And I know you're not asleep. Okay? I know you're not asleep because I know everything. So, return my damn call and text me the fuck.
There's another one. Women giving advice as to why men ghost after sex.
Girls, this is the harsh truth. If you're in the dating scene, you need to watch this video. Unfortunately, we have been lied to, and I don't know what you guys think, but the amount of guys that you sleep with says absolutely nothing about the amount of guys that want you. If you haven't realized it already, guys will basically have sex with.
I want to tell you why she thinks this is true. I want to tell you, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Women know more about the women you're dating than you do. We see a different side, right? Women will tell the crazy stories. You know how you see the crazy, how much your guys like cheat behind the scenes. Like the men will show each other the girls they're dating. You'll see the extreme lengths that men go through to cheat. Women see the women that you guys pick what they were doing before. And some women are very good con artists. That is all I will say.
With anything, their standards when it comes to having sex with someone are so low. The way men and women view sex is so different. Majority of men do not view sex as having anything to do with love. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that they have been watching porn since they were an adolescent.
See, that's always what women do. They shame the male sex drive, so they'll always put it on corn when it's some part of male sexuality that they don't like. So sex is different for men and for women, obviously.
Whereas as women, we view sex very differently, and we create a bond when we have sex with someone. Women release oxytocin when we have sex. That is a hormone that bonds us to another person. And men release vasopressin when they fall in love with someone, and vasopressin is not released when they have sex. It's actually released when they have to work towards having sex with a girl. So you have to stop thinking that having sex with a guy is going to be the key to his heart. And this is most likely the reason why you constantly get ghosted after you sleep with a guy. And it doesn't feel good because as women, you most likely have bonded with this guy after sleeping with him, and now you feel heartbroken because you don't understand the way men and women fall in love. And the last decade or so, I feel like as women, we have been very much lied to because we're constantly being told to liberate ourselves and to be more promiscuous. And I feel like we're just sold that lie that promiscuity is the answer for us, and that's what's going to make us more attractive and more desirable, when in reality, it couldn't be further from the truth.
Keep going. Common sense about how to take an L, but women will not listen.
Whenever a guy tells you that he's not ready for commitment or he's not ready for a relationship, this is what he really means. The reason why a lot of women struggle with this and how to respond to whenever a guy says this is because...
Take the L! Sorry. Eat it! Man, have you ever paid a lot of money for a woman and not gotten sex? Have you ever... You know, how much did your last girlfriend or situationship or girl you went on a date cost you? And what did you get out of it? Men get negative ROIs all the time. But they kind of figure out the solutions. They'll say, okay, I'm going to stop doing that. Women, we have whole courses on how to take an L.
Because it ignites that fixer mentality. But whenever a guy's literally telling you why he doesn't want to be with you, this is not an invitation to try harder. Because what he really means is that he's not ready to commit to you. This is also why I talk about nervous system regulation, getting to the root cause of why you even desire a partner, and truly working on your self-love and healing so that you can attract somebody from a place of fulfillment rather than a place of lack. And truly getting into your divine feminine energy so that you can receive the love that you so deeply crave. Because
it's always do less, get more, receive more.
Because you already give it to yourself. So next time a guy says this to you, respond with, okay, wish you well.
It's like basic. I mean, what do you guys do when women dump you? Okay. See ya. All right. Women trying to give other women a strategy to commit.
Here's what
instead
to do
of taking an L.
Commit. Now, I know you're probably asking yourself, am I the problem? Now, you might be. You fully might be. But here's how we change that. If he's acting like he's just seeing where it goes, great. Then you're going to look through your phone and see who else you can be texting. If that's how he's treating it, so are you. Take a bit longer to answer his texts. You have other people now. You are entertaining other people and not just him, because if he's not treating you as he should be to commit with you, then why would you? Hit him with the classic line.
And the thing is, women will entertain this for years. waste years of their life. And some pull it off. There's no guaranteed outcomes, just strategies.
That you're not looking for anything serious. We even have a hunch that he's not looking for anything serious. Then, girl, you say it first. Let those words come out of your mouth before they come out of his, okay? And once you say that you're not looking for anything serious,
then he'll say, great. Oh, God.
He will be looking for that. He will be concerned as to why you don't want anything from him. He will then chase you. Start posting your life. Give him a bit of FOMO. Show him what he's missing. Go for brunch with the girls. Do something fun. Do something mysterious. Do something that he wanted to do. And last but not least, do not devalue yourself. Do not stoop to his level. Do not be the person that he just wants to have around or whatever. Do not be that girl, okay? You are the prize, and we're not devaluing ourselves.
Yeah. We really just cannot take L's. So I'm going to do a call-in show today. And I really want to hear from the ladies. I've been having a tough time getting female callers, so I want to hear about your L's. What L's did you take? And how did you learn from them? Men, you can call in, but only if you have a story about a woman you know. How she took an L and either learned from it or didn't learn from it. We're going to put the link in the chat. But before then, I did have a submission. So you got the link in the chat? Yeah, okay. You emailed it? Yeah. We're going to react to something that Dane on the website. See, on the website, guys, you can put things that you want me to react to, and I will do them. So it's Eddie Murphy's Raw. Here we go.
Yeah, I was in the club, man. I stopped.
I've never seen this before, so we'll see.
Yeah, I was in the club, man. I stopped. I ain't dancing alone because I just had a fight recently, and I said I ain't dancing. I went to clubs. You get into a lot. People get drunk, go to clubs and start fighting. I had a fight with an Italian dude. Right after around time Rocky came out. Italian, white people, period. Y'all go crazy after y'all see a Rocky movie because y'all believe that shit. Because the movies are so emotional and so real. You sit there and go like, hey, this is real. Yeah, and Stallone have y'all white people pumped, especially Italians. After Italians see Rocky, they come out the movie theater, they be like, Italians are funny people because they act like niggas. It's real funny. They do. They hold their dick more than us to be standing around with. Get the fuck out of here. It's right here, all right? What? Hey, fuck you, all right? Everything is a question, too. Hey, what am I, an asshole? What am I, a fucking jerk? Get the fuck out of here. It's right here, all right? After they see Rocky, they come out the theater charged. They be like, all right, Rocco! All right, Sly! Rocco! Go up, people standing online and shit. Hey, Paisan, you going in to see Rocky right now? Yeah. Great fucking move. Great. You don't like this one. He comes out, Sly comes out, he breaks this big fucking nigga's face. He busts it fucking wide open. Fucking Mooney laying on the floor, fucked up. It's fucking great. I fucking love it, man. All right, Rocco! Hey.
Okay. I don't really get it. Sorry, guys. Okay, is anyone on the line? Or let me get on there. Hold on. It's off, right? Okay, I'm gonna go on my email. Also, guys, hit the like button. And if you want, go to the website, $10 a month, $80 a year. We have all of my old content on the website. So if you like to see me dunk on 304s, it's on my website. I had to delete it off of YouTube. They couldn't handle me on here. And then let me stop the video. Okay, I think I'm in there. Okay. Yeah,
yeah,
off.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Sorry, muted it. So I want to know from the ladies. What is an L you took and how did you learn from it? It seems like every woman that I've talked to claims they've taken no L's in life. Unless you married your high school or college sweetheart, I do not believe you. It's bullshit. Complete BS. Do not believe it. Okay, I'm going to read the website. So we got Pearl. In ancient Egypt, one emperor banned the manufacture of women's shoes so he couldn't leave the house. Oh, shit. Ancient Egypt, one emperor banned the manufacture of women's shoes so they couldn't leave the house. Look, there's a lot of guys that'll say the Muslims are right. Women shouldn't drive, put them in the house. My dad, he's just a wise guy. And the older I get, the more I see he's just right about everything. It's kind of annoying. My dad is not very controlling, but he ran a software company. And his philosophy was the more you try to control people, the more they resent you for it. And you got to just let people be who they are and act accordingly. And that's the way I view it. If the ladies want to go be super whores, I do not care. Go do it. It is no longer our problem. Good luck. The only thing is now they don't deal with the consequences. As long as they deal with the consequences, not my problem. Pearl, now you're getting on me about my unread emails. All right. Bennett says, a girl I hooked up with twice reported me on Bumble when I ghosted her and I was banned. I found this out because she was talking about me on Are We Dating the Same Guy? I ghosted her 2 years ago and she brought this up on that page last month. Okay. Oh, we got someone named Erica on the line. I need camera on so I can see you're a person. If you want to be off camera, we can arrange that, but we can take your just so it's audio on the screen. So if you'd want that, you guys can tell me right away. But I need to make sure you're a person. I don't want any weird stuff that's happened to me before. I'm scarred for life. Let's see. Erica, I don't see your face. Okay, well, until that happens, let me see. Erica, she said, okay, 1 minute. She's coming on, guys. But back to the burqa thing. Like, men are so solution oriented. So their solution is we gotta chain women into the house so they won't cheat. In my experience, that guy took his girlfriend to a party he was at, and she figured out a way to cheat. When women want to cheat, they will cheat. There is nothing you can do. It's the same thing with a guy. Have you guys ever seen a man that wants to cheat and the lengths he will go to? Okay, she doesn't want to be on screen. You have that. You have it, so she won't be on screen. Okay. I need to see you're a person, so you can put your screen on, but we're not going to see it other than on us. We can do that, right? Where I can see the screen, but then, okay, yeah. So if you go screen on, I won't be able to see you. Or, like, the audience won't be able to see you. A girl hooked up with you and reported you on Bumble. Yeah, that's the thing. There's nothing like a woman scorned. There are times when every single person alive has been a bad person. there's a lot of virtue signaling. It drives me nuts. But who out there has never been a bad person ever? You are the villain in somebody's story. Someone's. And in my experience, right? When someone does a woman wrong, it's like she'll hold on to it for years instead of just letting it go, moving on. We got Erica in the chat. Hello, Erica.
Hello.
No one can see you, just me. So how are you?
Okay. I'm good. How are you?
Good. Where are you calling out of?
California.
Nice. So what was an L you took and how did you learn from it?
So my L that I took was when I was younger. I am now 20, I'm going on 26.
Okay.
And when I was younger, I started to go to the gym. I started to kind of like what you talk about. I started to like wear makeup, and I guess I was beginning to go on to this phase where I thought I could get someone like better than me, or like I thought at my level. Um, so I was like dating a lot. I was on Tinder and I was meeting a lot of guys, and I was going on a lot of dates. And there was a time where I dated a cop, and we started talking, but I noticed that he only wanted to hang out with me at nights. Like we would go on like these dates. Well, it wasn't even like a date because it was just like we would get food and he would want to go back to his apartment. So it wasn't even like he did. I noticed like, and this is like I noticed this after like we stopped talking, that he just didn't want to be seen with me, I guess, in public. And he would tell me that he cared about me and that he wanted to date me, but our dates were only,
That'll do
like
it. The I care about you. They do that.
yeah. And I didn't realize this until later,
Yeah.
unfortunately, but I took an L and I realize that now, and I realize how stupid I was. And obviously we didn't work out and we stopped talking, and he never really cared to like come after me or anything like that, like he didn't hit me up months later like I miss you or anything like that, because he got what he wanted and like that was it. So that was like my L.
So how long did it last?
Probably like 6 months.
That's not too bad. I've heard way worse. I've heard years.
Oh man, I can't. Yeah, well, yeah, no, it was only 6 months.
6 months. How often was he seeing you?
Maybe only on the weekends.
Okay, so like once a week. And what did you learn
Maybe,
from
yeah.
it? How'd you bounce back? I see a kid, so it seems like you moved on.
Yeah, no, now I'm like I have married and I have a I've moved on obviously, but I realized that, well, one, it didn't work out, that I don't know, I thought I had it all, or like I was able to get all these men, and it made me realize like, okay, well, obviously I'm not, how do I say it? Like I'm not respecting myself, and they see that and they know that. And so it made me realize like, okay, well, I need to, how do I explain it? I don't know, just made me realize it's not something to brag about,
Yeah.
like that I get these men, or because I didn't. In my head, I'm like, oh, I'm dating a cop, like I'm dating someone of high value or whatever. But it wasn't serious, and he didn't take me serious.
So, are you happily married now?
Yes.
Yeah. So, where did you meet your husband?
We actually dated. I'm sorry, we knew each other from school, but we never dated, and then we ended up reconnecting through social media.
Okay. Cool. And did you do something differently with that relationship to get a better outcome? So, like, were you presenting yourself one way before and then maybe you stopped, or like what changed?
Yeah, I think so. I was very intentional about it. I was very much like I want to settle down and I want to find someone, because I went through this, like I said, like this little hoe phase, I guess I would call it, um, where like I thought I could date and I could just have a good time and mess around and not have any consequences and not worry about anything. But looking back now, like I regret a lot of that a lot of that time frame where I was dating a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I regret it. And if I could go back and like get married earlier, I would have, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, you're 26. You have a kid, so it's not
Yeah.
like you waited till 36. So
I know, right? I know, but no, definitely. I mean, I definitely learned a lot and I regret it, like I said. And now I have a daughter and now I realize, I'm like, no, I need to teach her differently. And I don't want her to go down that same like mentality or like route that her mom did, you know?
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Erica.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. I love what you do and what you say, and I think that there's a lot of truth in what you say. And I know sometimes people take it the wrong way or they get offended by it, but like I can tell you, like a lot of the things that you say, they don't trigger me, but it makes me realize, like, oh, she's talking about me, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just the truth. And if it wasn't the truth, then you wouldn't have so many women upset.
Yeah.
So
Well, thank
yeah.
you, Erica. I appreciate you calling. Feel free to call back anytime.
Okay, thank you, Pearl. Bye.
Let's see. It always asks me if I want to report them after. Oh, I put him in the rating room. Okay. We have Bon gone. Okay, guys, we don't start with the cameras on. If you want to be off camera, total. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, there you go. How you doing?
You have got to get a new mic.
What's wrong with my mic?
I said it's always I think it's the fan in the background or something.
No. I've just got the fountain fixed, so that doesn't make very much noise at the minute. But anyway.
So what's an L that you saw someone take?
Can I tell you if it's an L that I caused? I mean,
sure. Yeah, go ahead.
It was me who caused the L. It was when I was at school. This girl on Valentine's Day came to me and said that she fancied me, and gave me a card, and I couldn't go out with it. I just didn't fancy it at all. Mm-hmm. So I told her that, because I really fancied a friend. Mm-hmm. So I told her I fancied a friend.
Wow.
And she actually told her friend, and I ended up going out with her friend. It's just one of those sort of rare instances where a woman actually did take an L really well for a friend.
She ate it, huh?
She what?
She ate the L, huh?
She did. She actually took it and sort of let a friend in, which is, alright, that's cool. It's cool. Rare, but it's cool that it happened,
Well, cool. Thanks for telling me your L today.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling in. Yeah. That audio, I gotta. Don't know if you guys could hear that. I know the noise. He said he asked his a girl out, or a girl liked him, but he really liked her friend. And the friend told the other friend, and he went out with the friend. That L was the noise. I know. Let's see what we got. Pearl. Dane, I'll react to it next show. I don't want to get off track today. So while I'm waiting, I'll wait for my next. Women, ladies, it's okay. Do you know what I mean? Like, we take so many L's in life. Men in the chat, have you ever taken an L? And can you guys, let's not, the women are going to be honest on my show. They're going to be honest with me. Okay. They're going to be honest. And in exchange for the honesty, I need you guys to not roast their existence. I am not going to get honesty from women. or more honesty, let's say. I mean, they're women, so it's like, eh. We don't even mean to lie sometimes when we lie. If you guys are in the comments roasting the living crap out of them. I understand if they're being combative and rude, fine. Go at it. If they're being disrespectful, don't care. But can we just like negotiate here, chat? I need the honesty from the ladies, or at least the stories, and I'm just not going to get them. They're saying funny. Okay. You know, ladies, you can say your L's. It's okay. You can be off camera. It's all right. Because, you know, I've taken an L in my life. Every woman has. Every man has. The people that win keep going despite the L's. That's why I get mad. Riley Reid wanted to get married. We all could learn something from Riley Reid. I know you're thinking, I could learn nothing from a corn star. Well, Riley Reid did corn, made her money, and said, I want to get married after. She messaged this guy and said, that guy, I want to date him. He's hot. I'm not going to sell purity to him because I obviously have corn. So the way I'm going to win is I'm going to give him my hot friends. He can have sex with me and my hot friends. That's a pragmatic woman. Now, I'm not saying it's going to work out, but the people that win in life, they keep going after what they want. And, I'm going to be women that go after what they want and take L's are far better than the ladies that don't even try. It is far better to go after what you want and maybe not get it, but know you tried, than live life behind a screen, watching life go by. Really. I'm right. I know I'm right. 2 L's. Look, there's a girl in college that taught me this. We kept losing. We were on a losing streak. 2 L's, make a W. Serious, And I learned this from my dad. My dad would always say, focus on the solution, don't focus on the problem. Riley Reid, we can learn something from. She didn't sit feeling sorry for herself and say, you know what, I'm a corn star, nobody's going to marry me. She said, let's go find a guy that's going to marry me. There's a million men out there. Somebody's going to do it. That's what she said. She said, somebody's going to do it. Now, I'm not suggesting that. I am certainly not encouraging that. But you know what? We can even learn something from these women that are having sex with 1,000 men in a day. Now, look, please do not clip this the wrong way and say that I'm recommending this. We are going to fight if somebody does that. I'm literally going to fight you. But Bonnie Blue said, I want to have sex with 1,000, or no. What's the first one? Bonnie Blue and, God, what was her name? Lily Phillips said, I want to have sex with 100 men in a day. She went out, she got the guys together, she went and did it. Bonnie Blue said, no, I will be the biggest 304. Got 1,000 men together, did it in 12 hours. Now Lily Phillips is coming back and she's trying to do anal for 12 hours. Lord help her. Lord help her. Now, obviously that's disgusting. Like I'm not trying to what I am saying is those women figured out what they wanted to do and they went out and did it. How many people have the balls to go do what they want regardless of what people say? They do not care. Now, look, am I recommending that? No. Is that disgusting? Yes. Am I telling you to do it? Hell no. But you at least could say they went after what they wanted. Now, are there talented people? Are there men that are just naturals with the ladies that rarely ever took L's because they're so charming and good looking? Yes. Are there women that were really pragmatic with who they dated? They dated within their league. They met someone in high school, met someone in college. They waited till they were married and did things the right way, or I don't even want to say right way because I've seen too many of those go out and blame. I've seen both. I've seen God knows anymore, but yes. But this is life and there's no guarantees. You could find yourself a widow at 45 back in the day. Odds are my grandma was with my grandpa for like years. But he died I think in his 50s or something. So, she was back in the dating pool even though she married young, right? She was with the same guy for like 30 years. Had 9 kids, but he died first. Now she's back. I remember she had a boyfriend once. I don't know. But you guys see what I remember because I was in high school and we went to a karaoke bar. And I went with all of her friends, right? And it was my grandma and they were like 50-plus-year-old women. A lot of them were widowed. And they were back in the dating pool. They sounded like schoolgirls talking about the men they were like interested in. And I remember being 16 and thinking that the 50-plus-year-old women sounded like me and my friends. And I thought, there's no guarantees in life, right? But men understand that. They know if they work hard, it might not be success. They know that if they go for the girl of their dreams, she might reject him. But the thing is, people that get W's usually take a couple L's. It just is what it is. I'll give you another example, a more classy one. I'll stay away from the 304s today. A more classy example. Who's the woman, oh my gosh, the princess that people like in England? Princess Kate, I think her name is. Yeah, I'm bad with names. But, did you know she got dumped in her early 20s by the prince? She met him in college. I looked into their love story once. She met him in college and they broke up for like 5 years. And during this 5 years, he partied. He was banging all the hoes. Let's be honest. I lived in England. He's got side chicks. But she won because she waited for him. Now, that's going to be a strategy that's not going to work out for most women. I promise to God it probably will not work out. But when he came back to her, she didn't say, oh, you didn't want me then. You can't have me now. No. She didn't say, you know what? You're an asshole. You did all this stuff. No. She said, welcome back, honey. And now she's royalty. But then there's the other woman. There's the princess everyone hates. God, the mixed girl. Yeah, the American. What's her name? That woman went through 3 husbands to get what she wanted. We can learn something from women. I know you guys are thinking like, how many of you really went after what you wanted in women and said, okay, let's be pragmatic. If all the hot women are in the city, I'm going to live in the city. I'm going to live a mile from a bar. Like, how many of you guys have thought all this through? I'm going to live a mile from a bar so it's easier to pick them up. Problem solved. Eventually one will stick around. That's one strategy. I'm not saying it's the best one. Don't take my advice. Go to a guy. But I'm just, how many men have thought this out? The ladies, they will plan this. I think she went through 2 husbands, Meghan Markle, and she said, I want to be British royalty. So I'm going to get my friend to set us up. She pretended she didn't know who he was, blah, blah, bullshit. She knew exactly who he was. Guarantee the women will study what the men like, go after it. She said, I want to live in the California. I'm going to manipulate my husband to bring him back to California, make him leave his family. That's a terrible thing to do. I know you're saying, nope, nope, nope. She belongs to the streets. Yes, she totally does. But I want to analyze how she got what she wanted. She wanted to be royalty. So she said, let me go to the naive one of the two, study him, be perfect until the wedding, and do a switcheroo. Call in, ladies, call in. What else did you take? What did you learn? Men, I mean, I'm trying to, when I want to communicate, I'm trying to stay away from morality. Everyone's got their personal opinions on morality. And everyone's got this idea that there's like right and wrong, and everyone thinks that they're right and everyone else is wrong. And I got this a lot. This presupposition was challenged. And it was when I met so many people that did things, so many men that did things the right way that got the worst outcome ever. That it made me re-question everything I knew. So what I did was I decided, let me focus on what works. Not what's right, not what's wrong. What works here? They say the younger, the better. You know, I was talking to my music teacher today. And I was telling him, because he wants to date older women. I know you guys are saying, why would you do? Look. I'm not here to tell you guys what you like or what you shouldn't like. Who the hell am I to tell you guys what you should date? Fuck that. You know, all these talking heads. I'm saying decide for yourself. So he wants older women, but he kept matching with young women, like 20, 22. I know you guys are thinking, wow, what a problem to have. Look. So I asked him what his profile was, and it was music. It was a musician, right? So it was like protesting music. And I said, look, if you want older women, you got to he used to work in finance. So I'm like, you got to put your finance stuff out there to scream security, because the older women are going to be more gold digging. They're looking for a bailout plan. Don't tell them you don't want that, right? But if you want the older women, you got to take off the fun guy stuff. That's for the younger women. And he was saying when he was younger, he dated the women, when he was in finance, he dated older women. And I said, yep, that's how it goes. Of course, it's the music dude. Yeah, musician, bro. Yeah, yep. So what? That's called pragmatism. That's not saying you're wrong for wanting 30-year-olds. He said he didn't want anyone under 30. Am I going to go in and say, you are not allowed? No, you're allowed to date what you want. Who am I? Make sure you know. And then I was in a very Muslim area where I lived. And it made me question my worldview. Now, I'm not going to pro-Muslim or any of that, but one guy that like lived in my building, I mean, his wife like literally worshipped him. And he had 2 wives. So I'm like, this Christian guy. And by the way, there's some Christian guys that get it all. I'm not here to tell you. I've just seen that archetype too many times. So like, I don't know what to tell you, but you know, then I had a trainer in London who had he had a perfect wife of like 25 years. And then she went after the kids were old to become a lawyer. There's nothing wrong with that. And he was monogamous. He was just with her. She falsely accused him. Yeah, after 25 years. And he would tell me how great his wife was. 25 years, she falsely accused him. And then he got lucky, actually. She went back to the police and said she was lying. And she like wanted to work it out. But it's, you know, it's a roll of the dice. I can't tell you guys what you're going to get. These are both. Yeah, women only chase chads. They don't chase rich guys. Money and our personality, money and personality don't matter to them that much anymore. Well, yeah, I mean, what do you guys think feminism is? Feminism is for women to have sex with the hot guys. That is what it is. Women did not want to be, they wanted to be liberated from their husbands that they did not like. And if you really read the writings, that is what they say. That is why they want reproductive control, so they can not reproduce with a guy they don't like. That is why women went to college, so they can get a better guy than is in their hometown. It used to be you just marry someone in your hometown, no more. Why do you think women wanted no-fault divorce? Why did so many women take it? You get to see who we really are when we get the freedom to do anything. And women communicated. I would rather go to get a bunch of debt, go to Mexico to get a BBL, than be with an average guy. Now, a lot of people say the pendulum's swinging back. Women are going to realize they were wrong. When have you ever seen a woman realize she was wrong? And this is what I got. I would interview women in their like 50s and 60s. And their life could be in complete shambles and they would still double down on their decision. It was like amazing, actually. I mean, maybe you guys have a different experience, but I have an aunt that for years claimed she was abused, right? And when I found out, like, she kind of exacerbated the story, like it wasn't really what she said. Doubled down. I was like, I don't know, that doesn't really sound like abuse. I'm not going to convince you. Okay, good luck. Ladies, call in. Tell me your L's. Tell me. No government can deal with your marriage problems. Yeah, and this is the thing. And this is why I hate that they demonize like red pill. And the stupid moralists come in and they say red pill is evil because, you know, in red pill, it's based on, like in the original forums, it's based on what you want. So if you want to maintain a harem, it gives you the tools to do that. If you want to stay married to one woman, it gives you the tools to do that. It doesn't. So many of the commentators want to tell the men what they should want. You know, the anti-race mixers will say, race mixing, bad, bad, bad. Who are you to tell someone else what they should want? Same thing with, you know, they say men only date this or that. You know, let's say you want to date a single mother. You know, there's a guy I know personally, he looked for a single mother because he had 2 kids and he wanted another woman with kids that would raise his 2 kids so that she could stay home and he could provide. And that was what they did. And they were married for 25 years. Anyways, I think I'm going to end it with that because I don't see any other callers. But you know what? Thank you guys so much. This was a great show. Shout out to Erica for coming in. And Erica she was very attractive. She's a good looking girl. So even attractive women take L's. A lot of guys think attractive women take none. They do. Anyways, guys, make sure you like the video on your way out. Subscribe to the channel. I love you guys. You're the best. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.